We've come to Picture Book Bavaria. But there's something unusual about this town. There's one, there's another one. There are these stickers everywhere, saying that you can pay with Chiemgauers. People in this and some other nearby towns have invented their own money, and it's supposed to be better than the euro. And the best part is, I was told there's a way to get this money for free. Almost. One way to get your hands on it is by booking this car. It's a shared one. It costs 54 euros or $62 to rent for the day, and it's my ticket into the world of the Chiemgauer. Hello.
Hello.
I would like to collect my Chiemgauer. So I've signed up for this car sharing. How much do I get for this? How many Chiemgauers?
You get 50 Chiemgauer.
50, all right. Christian Gallery invented this new cash and heads the group that oversees it.
Here in the back office, now you can see here.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
200,000 Chiemgauer.
Worth the same amount in euros, or more than 230,000 US dollars.
50, and that's a 50 Chiemgauer. Have fun with shopping.
Thank you very much.
And
I'm rich.
Yeah.
Rich in Chiemgauers. Full disclosure, usually you have to register before you get your money. We didn't have to. Plus, you actually need to use car sharing 10 times before you get your one-off reward. And that's what the banknotes look like coming fresh from the printer, with infrared and watermark protection, just like official banknotes. Still, it looks a bit like play money to me, and actually, that's kind of how it all started. 24 years ago, Gallery taught economics at a high school in the region. He and a handful of students invented the Chiemgauer as an experiment on how to promote local businesses. Back then, like in many places, local stores were struggling because customers preferred to shop in malls. So the store owners gave this new money a try. People actually started paying in Chiemgauers, and the classroom experiment turned into a microfinancial system. There was just one problem. Under German law, printing or using money other than euros can land you in jail. So the notes were never authorized as legal tender. The federal bank just accepted their use on one condition.
It's legal because it's a regional money, so it's only valid here in the region for a certain amount of people.
That's very much the trick. The Chiemgauer can only be spent here, and it should be spent, not saved up. See these stickers? Every half a year people must buy one of those for a few cents to keep a banknote valid. And after 3 years the bills expire. The point is to make people spend this money in local stores as soon and as often as possible. That's also why as a regular person you can't exchange them for euros. Businesses can exchange them for real money, but they pay a 5% deduction. That supports the operation of the currency and local associations. This way, the money keeps flowing. Let's put that to the test.
Bitteschön.
Vielen Dank.
Bitteschön, sehr gerne.
Dankeschön.
Zum Wohle.
Cheers, zum Wohl.
Zum Wohl. Can I actually use Chiemgauers to pay for those 2 beers?
Zahlen bitte.
Jawohl, sehr gerne. Dann jetzt mal bitte auf.
Hier so 9. Bitteschön.
Vielen herzlichen Dank.
The pub owner could now go to the market and buy a loaf of bread with the Chiemgauers. Then the vendor could use them for her purchases.
Unser Lieferant sozusagen, der nimmt Chiemgauer und wir bezahlen den für die ganzen Bio-Sachen mit Chiemgauern.
Next, I'll get a postcard for a friend. Schön. Wie viele Leute zahlen hier in Chiemgauer?
Das ist halt ganz unterschiedlich, aber wir schätzen so zwischen 10 und 15%.
Then a couple of apples at a local organic store.
Dann haben wir 1,87 bitte.
Ich würde gerne Chiemgauer bezahlen.
Sehr gerne,
Geht
ja.
das? Das heißt 2 Chiemgauer dann.
Ja.
Bitte schön.
Danke.
Right after me, another customer pays the same way. Warum zahlen Sie denn in Chiemgauer und nicht in Euro?
Wir haben selber auch einen Bioladen und da bekommen wir immer wieder Chiemgauer Währung, Bezahlung durch Chiemgauer Währung und wir verwenden das Teil für unsere Privateinkäufe.
And so the money goes round and round, in cash or electronically, with a special card connected to your normal bank account. An estimated 5 million Chiemgauers get spent every year by just 4,200 individuals and the roughly 300 businesses who take part in the system. Globally, there are around 300 such complementary currencies, most of them in Europe and Brazil. They're called that because they're not replacing a country's official currency, they just exist alongside it. They're usually small, except for a few like the Mumbuca in Brazil. Tens of millions of US dollars per year flow into the local economy and welfare here. That's the point of these currencies, and as a side effect, they also reduce transport emissions.
It pushes local shopping, which then hopefully, and that's the idea, makes the supply chains shorter, because then what happens is that businesses start maybe sourcing their goods from locally produced.
Esther Barinaga researches these complementary currencies. She says a few are mainly focused on the environment. The Vilawatt, for example, rewards citizens for saving energy. And people in Indonesia, the Philippines and other countries get plastic bank tokens for collecting and handing in plastic bottles.
Money can be designed. If money is created to reward pro-environmental behaviors, then you're gonna have, it's an incentive system, then you're gonna have more people behaving pro-environmentally.
The Chiemgauer has evolved from just a local currency into one that rewards climate-friendly behavior. Remember how I got $50 for using a shared car? You get other rewards for installing thermostats in your home, having your jeans repaired, insulating your house with natural materials, or like the owner of this house, getting a solar panel for the balcony or backyard.
He got 100 Chiemgauer for the solar panel. In 20 years it's 11 tons of carbon dioxide which is saved by this balcony power set.
This reward system, called Climate Bonus, has expanded from here to 4 more regions in Germany. The rewards are paid for by other locals and local businesses who pay into a fund to offset their CO2 emissions. Essentially, it's a small emissions trading system. For each ton of emissions offset, 9 tons are saved through all the balcony solar, shared cars and other rewarded behavior. In the past 4 years, this has saved 12,800 tons of CO2. That's as much as 2,000 cars emit on average in the same time. Independent auditors have checked those numbers, and they say it works. All the car sharing and balcony solar supported with this self-made money does reduce CO2. But the Chiemgauer has its limits. Things like clothing or tech are still produced abroad, shipped around the world and sold here. Less than 1% of locals are using the Chiemgauer, and it has to stay that small or Germany's federal bank could choose to regulate it. We can think of regional currencies as cleverly made vouchers going round and round. Like the Chiemgauer, they can have an impact on local economies and CO2 emissions. And while in the grand scheme of things they are tiny, they can teach us a big lesson. Money and monetary systems aren't untouchable. They can be designed, for example, to cut emissions. And if it works with the small bucks, it could work with big ones too. Would you or do you use a regional currency where you live? Let us know in the comments below, subscribe for more videos like this and go check out dw.com for more stories.